Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host,
Leaf Ninja, Satish Ram.
Okay, so today we're not doing Star Wars Wednesday, if any of you noticed. Usually we do Star Wars Wednesday with, maybe like 1 to 2 weeks that we haven't really done it. But we're replacing Star Wars Wednesday just for this week with no catchy fun name, just Naruto on a Wednesday. Because we tried to do Saturdays, right? Either anime or animation Saturdays with this Naruto, with Naruto special, the OVA 1 and or the OVA 2 for a while now. We haven't really been able to do it. I mean, we put other stuff in its place, or we've released Let's Play stuff, or we tried to release some Let's Play stuff in its place. But, it's been very hard to get you on the radio, and most importantly, just get everyone that we usually have on Saturday on the radio. So we finally got you, Satish, and here we are doing the first 2 OVAs for Naruto, and they were interesting, because the first one was very short, obviously. It was made for one of those jump festas. It wasn't made for, like DVD release or anything like that. And you can see that that's most likely why it hasn't been released in English. The same way that some of the Jump Festa specials, like the 2008 Dragon Ball Z one, the one with hey, Son Goku and his friends are back, that one has not been released in English.
Which
usually those
was really fun.
It was, but
usually
stuff like that, it was, but usually stuff like that slips through the cracks because they're not officially like a movie or in some kind of license that you can purchase, like these companies like Funimation and Viz will purchase. So, clearly the first OVA, there's so many different names for this. It's Find the Four-Leaf Crimson Clover.
or Find the Crimson Four-Leaf Clover or something like that?
No, it's been both. That's what I'm trying to say. It's been both. It's been Find the Crimson Four-Leaf Clover and Find the Four-Leaf Crimson Clover. It's been named both.
But it's basically about finding a four-leaf red clover.
Basically. And then the second OVA, which is Mission, Protect the Waterfall Village. So, which, of course, as I'm sure you know this, Satish, that one got an English dub.
Yes, I actually saw the dub.
Yes, that one, yeah. So that one got an English dub. It was released in America as The Lost Story. And that one came out.
It's funny, because the full English title does have The Lost Story in it. And it cracks me up because, it's so minor in terms of all the stuff that's happened in Naruto so far, up to where we are in present day. The idea that they drop, The Lost Story on that cracks me up. Because it's like a freaking 40-minute OVA that involves...
Well, remember, it came out in 2003 in America 2007, so it's way before.
It made sense. Yeah. It was this is the Lost Story at that point, but the name doesn't stand the test of time.
Well, I mean, it's meant to be more so that they had no way to write, OVA is it's not like people in America don't understand what the word OVA is, but when you put that on a thing for children, or parents, and they're buying this DVD, it's like Naruto OVA, what? Or Naruto OAV. So either it's original video animation or original animated video. Either way, they're not really going to, get it. So it's kind of like, the Lost Story, okay, like something that isn't part of the main series continuity, but it also isn't a movie, because you can't list it as a movie. Especially with the budget that it had. It clearly had TV special budget. So, Now, mind you, the budget for the second OVA was better than the first one, because the first one had a Jump Festa budget, which, I mean, again, we really have to jump back and look at 2002, 2003, that time period when it came out, because I think we've been spoiled by animation today, where you'll watch even though, of course, there's errors still in 2016 anime, still, you'll watch Naruto now, or you'll watch anything else now, and you're just completely spoiled. And then you watch TV special, like OVA Naruto budget, and you're like, this is what you know what I mean? This is what I'm watching.
I don't mind it at all, I guess, because,
I'm not saying you mind it, but it's you know what I mean? It's been a while.
Well, it's not HD, but, to be fair, I just got HD television last year. So, I've been in SD up to this point.
It's not about SD HD. It's about how it's animated.
No, but to me, like, when you've been watching shit in standard, like, SD forever, it really doesn't, like, it's not a big deal because, like, you see, like, I think I got used to being able to sit there and be like, oh, animation style, once I started seeing things in HD, being honest. So for me, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, obviously there's a stark difference in the way the animation looks, but, like, it doesn't register with me.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that it's interesting because it's not about an HD-SD debate. It's just in how it's animated. You know, I'm just like, and you can even tell, by the way, this I know you had to be able to tell. This I'm really hoping you were able to tell. The difference in quality in the first OVA between people like Naruto and Konohamaru versus the girl that they had just created for that special. There was a stark difference in quality. Not saying it's bad. It was just it was huge in terms of like, oh yeah, there's Naruto, there's Konohamaru, and then random blue-haired little girl. Yeah, you're a character they just had to make up.
But she was amazing. Like, the depth of her character was great. So like, I don't know why you're criticizing it.
I love it so much. You're such a piece of shit. I'm literally talking about her character design, and you're like, but the character itself. That means you can't talk about her design at all.
No, you can't. That wouldn't be right.
So we should end all discussion, is what you're saying, on a podcast?
No, unless it's positive. I mean, I'm sure you have good things to say about her.
I do.
And her dramatic emotions. You know, she's sitting there and just... But I want to say goodbye to Kono. I can't even pronounce his name, by the way, because it's too many syllables for me, and that's really bad. But...
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. You saying you shouldn't say any negative comments about Konohamaru. You can only mention nice things. So please, talk about some nice things. No.
I just want to pronounce his name correctly, because he's so nice. Like, I just want to be able to pronounce it.
No, but you said it's so bad. You were referencing that the name is bad, is a bad name.
No, I was referencing that it's bad that I cannot. You can't outdo me at this. You can try, but you're not. It's okay.
I only want to outdo you because it's so fucking stupid.
But getting back on track real quick for a second, right? Can you pronounce his name for me so I can say it correctly?
It's very hard, actually. Konohamaru. To me, it's
Konohamaru.
Konohamaru. Yeah, Konohamaru. Konohamaru. And it's so funny.
I can sound it out. I just feel dumb because, like, it's a long name for me to sound out.
You know what's really funny to me? Of course, as we know, they get these actors, and these voice actors, whatever. They get them all at different points, right? Usually in Japan, they'll try and put them in the same room, or many of them in the same room, and have them all go at it at the same time. In America, of course, because of budding schedules, you're going to get them at different intervals, right? So it's really funny, and it was more so noticeable, I think, in the movie that we did, the Naruto movie. But it is so funny when we have characters talking to each other, and, like, someone might be like, oh, Konohamaru, right? And someone else is like, like Naruto, like, hey, Konohamaru.
That's why I get thrown off. Like, I'm not even being mean, right? And then, like, we have people, like, okay, you and I will pronounce it differently, and you'll probably get it correct over me, right? But, like, just hearing the way people will talk about it, because I've heard people talk about Naruto for years. Like, hell, I don't even know how to say Naruto correctly, because I've heard Naruto, and, like, stuff like that. So I just say what comes natural.
It's actually really funny that you bring that up, and I'm thanking you so much, because the example that I had in my head from the movie was, you might have, like, Sakura being like, Naruto, right? Or Naruto, right? And then you have a fucking Yuri Lowenthal. Love him so much. But you have Yuri Lowenthal as Sasuke, like, Naruto.
Right? No, that's what I mean. Okay. So, like, no, I'm not being, because, like, I'm trying not to come off as, like, a bad person here. I'm just saying I have problems with
let's be honest, right? It would be really weird if I was like, hey, Satish, and someone was like, Satish. No, I know different accents.
That's literally my life, man.
No, it is, but I mean, like, here's the thing.
You
That's
can
your
walk
life,
in New York,
yes.
and you'll hear Satish, Satish, and Satish. And
okay,
Satish,
no, Satish is better.
That's how Guyanese people say it. But, like,
no, but that's the thing. Different accents based on, like, I don't know, because when you're like, Guyanese people say it this way, I'm like, okay, that's the most correct in my opinion. But what I mean is, me saying Satish versus someone going Satish, that to me, and here's the thing, right? it's like one of those has to be right or wrong, but everyone accepts it as natural. And it's like, no. Like, you accept it because you're like, okay, this is my life. But it's not accepted because it's normal. So when someone's like, Naruto, both in English, one of those has to be more correct, damn it. All jokes aside, though, it's funny. Many people are like, oh, God, they're ranting. No, we're being serious. We're not even being idiots anymore. We're being dead serious. It's nuts how, in a show like this, I guess because it's very Japanese, like it's Japanese heavy, you know, like very Japanese lore and stuff like that, so ninja stuff. So the way certain names are pronounced, depending on what voice actor is saying it, it's a very interesting thing. So you can say Konohamaru.
Konohamaru. Okay. So
Boom.
The first OVA, like, I think I liked it more than you, based on, like, we talked about it for a moment before.
No. I mean, more, yes, maybe, but not like, I don't want to say that it was shit.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You specifically said to me, you did not think it was bad. You just liked the Waterfall Village one more. And
yes.
I liked the Waterfall Village one more as well, but I feel like it came off me feeling like I liked the whole Four-Leaf Clover one like more than you did, because I don't know,
yes.
I got into it. I
like
guess
the foreshadowing.
In what sense?
The Chunin exams. I believe
right.
they hadn't experienced that yet. So that was kind of for us, or manga readers. Yeah, so that was for manga readers to be like, wow, wait, that's where they used to hold the Chunin exams? And then you have, like, freaking Kakashi going, hey, I used to have those here.
Yeah,
like, what?
Like,
you know?
I love Kakashi in that, by the way. Just, he went to Amagara? Well, Naruto's going to die. For sure.
I like him in both. Because
calmly, and I was so mad at him, because I'm like, you're a dick.
No, what I think it was is both OVAs were so early in the series, right? That when you see the movie was released a bit later. That's why I feel bad that we didn't do these first. The movie was released a bit later, and you see, but here's the thing: you can see Kakashi's character develop the way he's supposed to us, the fans. Where it's just the idea that, in the manga he comes off as an aloof dick, but then he slowly grows into, oh no, the children are in trouble kind of guy. I need to help. We are clearly out of our depths here. But for some reason, the first two OVAs, because they were released before Zabuza shit, or around the same time-ish, it was kind of like they wrote Kakashi out because he's an aloof dick. So when it comes to, Kakashi, we could have died today. It was really bad. I see. Because the first one was a bit more aloof, and hell, to be fair, there was no real villain. In the second OVA, it was really set up like, we basically fought a Zabuza type. Oh.
Which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
It was interesting to watch that OVA because of the fact that, like, you had, and you're going to have to help me again. But
Shibuki?
Not pronunciation. Shibuki. I just forgot his name for a second. Using
Lord
a water
Shibuki!
dragon move. Yeah, using a water dragon move. And I'm like, oh God, he's Zabuza. He's secretly Zabuza this entire time, because only one person can use one technique in my head. In my head, it's like, well, once he used it, no one else can use it. So he must be Zabuza. So I guess we killed him.
By the way, just for some background, Shibuki's voice actor is not only Hitsugaya in Bleach, but Neji in Naruto.
I love Neji.
So he is Neji. And it's funny that he's Hitsugaya because his character of Shibuki, uses water techniques, and Hitsugaya uses ice techniques. So it's kind of funny. It's just like, well, you can't escape that, can you? By the way, when the OVA started, the second OVA, did it, maybe it's just me, did not know that the ninja, Shibuki, who was with them, was a dude until he spoke.
That's interesting.
And I feel like that's just, maybe it's just one of those character design things. People always say that about Japanese character designs. You don't really realize what gender someone could potentially be or identify as, whatever it might be, until they speak. I mean, look at Haku.
I was going to say, Haku is the best example of that.
Yes.
Because there's still a debate over it, even though it's obviously been confirmed. But there's still a debate over that.
No, yeah, there's Haku. Of course, there's the character of Rem the Shinigami, or the Death God, God of Death, Grim Reaper, from Death Note. I know that there were earrings on Rem, but still, that design, until I was told that Rem was a female, that design, I did not realize that it was a female design, and it was a female character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the voice that I had given Rem when I read the manga, because I had read the manga before watching the anime, was definitely a stark difference. Until it was like, wait, Rem, you're a girl? And to me as well, it was like, oh, well, golly, fucking J. But anyway, so it was very interesting with Shibuki until I hear Shibuki speak, and I'm like, okay, dude. But anyway, so just talking about the OVA one for a second, though, I think it was a nice, fun little thing. It was fun, you know? It wasn't huge. It wasn't meant to be this big, crazy adventure. It was not the Lost Story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was just meant to be a nice little fun thing people could watch before they see whatever movie came on after it, right, at the Festa. Because speaking of these Jump Festas, it's like, saying you're going to some kind of, like, movie screening or some movie convention, let's say, right? Movie marathon, and you're sitting there with other movies that are being played around the same time, let's say like One Piece or Dragon Ball Z or something like, or Case Closed, right? And those other movies are a bit longer, so this one is 17 minutes long to compensate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's really about. I'm sure you know what festivals are, Fish, but in case anyone out there doesn't, or if I've said it to you so many times that you've gone, I've never asked him what those were. The Jump Festas are basically places where, Shonen Jump or other festas are as well, where you can have these movies play one after another, because obviously, in Merca, right, you're going to have a 2-hour movie, hour 20 minutes, maybe 2.5 hours, depending. But, a lot of these anime movies are 40, 50 minutes long, maybe some of them an hour-ish, but most of them not. So, you're going to have some kind of buffer to make people feel like, hey, I didn't just go to a theater to see something for $17, or I didn't go to this festival to just see...
For 17 minutes, rather.
17 minutes, correct. God knows how much you paid for 17 minutes worth of content, So yeah, you have to definitely buffer some things.
Yeah, I understand.
And that's,
No, and it's just funny because, we're not going to theaters to see, we're catching it in whatever way we can. And so it's essentially a 17-minute episode of the show.
Basically. The same way that the OVA 2 was really a 40-minute episode.
Yeah, no, it cracks me up because, we're doing this show, right? Essentially, we're doing 2 episodes. It's about an hour combined. We're basically doing 2 episodes of Naruto. And that's kind of cool. I guess that's what makes it easy. But I guess, I don't know, do you want to tackle the content of it a little bit now? Because I can start, or do you want to start?
No, you can, you can start. I'll let you start the pitch.
Okay. The first one was the best OVA ever, because at the time it was the only OVA out, so it was the worst and best one simultaneously. No.
I love that. No, actually, that is one of the best.
No, I think I liked it because of the fact that, you have Konohamaru and Naruto, and, it's this obvious, mentor, little brother, older brother relationship. And
that we've seen.
Yeah, and I like that. One of the things that I was going to complain about, by the way, because I saw this subbed, obviously, because there was no, it wasn't released in America.
Sadly.
It's funny, because I was going to ask you, so, the idea of, Oni-san essentially means brother, right? I'm not...
Yes, but it was done appropriately because children in Japan will someone older. So, all right, so you, not my students, because my students are teenagers, although they could do that, but, you were dealing with elementary school children, correct?
Correct.
Right? So they would, if this was Japan and we were all in Japan, they would call you either Oni-san, right? Oni-san, or they would call you Satish Oni-san. Right?
Yeah, no, so, I was going to... It's not me saying that it's wrong.
It was perfectly correct. Because the one that I saw did not have the brother in there, which is the point. Because Big Brother Naruto...
No, mine wasn't. My sub was just Naruto. What I was going to say is the idea of, in a way, This is not a big criticism on Naruto. It's just a thought that I was having.
No,
like,
yeah,
it's
please.
It's just the idea of like, wow, in a way you sort of miss out with the sub sometimes, and this doesn't happen only in Japanese, because like the example you just gave for like, if I was teaching in a Japanese school, they would say like Satish Oni-san or like Oni-san. In Hindi, it's very similar, because when I worked at a church when I was younger, they would call me Baya, which is essentially the equivalent of Oni-san in Hindi. It's big brother.
Yeah.
So like, or it'd be like Satish Baya or Baya, literally. So it's the exact equivalent. So it's just funny for me though, because like we'll be watching, like my parents will watch like Indian soap operas. So like it would be like Naruto Baya, like if so, and it would just be Naruto, and you miss out if you don't know the culture.
Not really. You want to know? You miss out on nothing. And I'm not being obtuse, or you miss out on nothing, and here's why. If the story is crafted correctly, you're going to sit there and go, Konohamaru looks up to Naruto like he is his big brother. And the story is crafted that way, in a way that you wouldn't need to translate it or put a translator's note to say, he's saying big brother. Or you could explain it maybe if you're selling it in a pamphlet, like if you have like if you're actually legitimately selling, let's say, a manga or an anime, and you want to put something in a pamphlet or put something at the end of the graphic novel, that's fine to say, oh, normally, he said these specific words, but translated as just the person's name. Because, like, even if it's like, oh, but one day he'll stop calling him Oni-san, right? And he'll just say Naruto. And that's such a big shift. Again, if it's a dramatic scene and it's just like, and the line reads, I'm your equal now, Naruto, right? And he doesn't say Naruto Oni-san. The line still reads, I am your equal now. If the story is crafted well enough, you don't have to, as a translator or as a subtitle person writing subtitles, rely on just random words that are in the culture, because that's how I look at it. So you're not really missing out on anything.
I disagree completely, because of the idea of like, there's the idea of you and I treat each other like brothers, right? But calling someone brother, in my opinion, is a big significant difference. Now, it may mean something different to their culture, and that's why. But like for me, specifically,
but I'm just saying that like. But it's so normal for that to happen in their culture that in a way it's like, if one of my kids looks up to me, they can, although it's a bit different because teenagers, but still the point is that if someone looks up to someone, right, they can easily be conveyed in the script. And honestly, you're doing a big disservice if someone stumbled upon Naruto and Konohamaru was like, big brother Naruto, and someone goes, so they're related. You're doing a huge disservice to anyone watching. Because then you have to explain that to people, too. It's something that you don't need to learn about, because this isn't a lesson on someone's culture.
They should learn about it. I feel like they should.
No, they shouldn't. This isn't a lesson on someone's culture. This is a Japanese television show where people fight each other with fake ninja techniques.
But if
you want to learn about someone's culture,
it's not a Naruto thing. It's generally like every like. But this is a general.
But it doesn't. But the thing is, if you want to learn about someone's culture, open a textbook. Like, this shouldn't be a Japanese lesson. This isn't a Japanese lesson. This is a
I don't know. I disagree
show.
Completely. I know you're speaking from the perspective of someone who subbed things. That's why. And like.
That's not why. I'm talking about it more so like, Satish, do you want to be taught Japanese? Then take it at college. Why are you putting Japanese on people that just want to be entertained? Because that's what we're getting at here. You're going to have to see Big Brother Naruto.
Because I personally think it adds to the. I think it adds something to it, and I'm sorry if you disagree.
But if you weren't watching Naruto, it's your first time watching it, and you see Big Brother Naruto, you're going to assume they're related.
No, because I remember this is a kind of personal thing. That's what I'm saying. It's a personal opinion, because I grew up with no siblings, and yet the word brother and sister was thrown around a lot in my life. A lot of people call me brother.
But in other languages, if it was so, okay. But what I'm saying is,
both English and Hindi. When I was growing up, I've heard it a lot. That's why I'm saying, like, it means something to me, and that's why I think it was. It's just a comment I'm making. Like, it's fine. I disagree with you, but like, we're not. Like, I think we're just gonna not get anywhere.
No, because it's. I don't know. I'm just saying that if I'm not saying you shouldn't be learning about other cultures. I'm just saying that a television show isn't really the time or the place unless it is Dora the Explorer. But I don't want every single Japanese television show to become Dora the Explorer. where it's
no,
just like
senpai. And none of them will do it. None of them do it, so it's okay. Like,
no,
it's
well,
accepted.
some people try to, some subtitleists, like some subtitleists, dear fucking God, what am I doing with the English language myself? No, I just feel like the idea is, it's not, I don't want to do a slippery slope argument here, but it's like if you let Big Brother slide, then there's senpai, then there's kohai, then there's so many other words that if you're doing the scripts correctly.
Like, all of them are let slid, arguably, in that. Like, that all goes by the boards when you sub.
Yeah. San, kun, sama, chan.
Right.
Sama, there's so many
kun,
ways
chan,
to...
all those cool... I've just seen one of them. They all go
for anyone wondering.
Yeah, kun,
I feel like there's some people
chan,
up there.
sama...
no, I feel like some people may hear the wrong word, kun. When pronounced in English, it sounds inappropriate. But yeah, kun, different. You see what I mean? Different honorifics. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sit here and argue about children subtitling for the next 20 minutes.
I don't think we're not going to get anywhere with this.
No,
but I was just making a comment from a personal basis. Like, I'm not trying to overthrow the entire.
No. I understand. I always thought you were on my side. I feel like this is fucking those guys' civil war right here. Dear fucking
there's
God.
a lot of things we disagree with. It's just
I understand that.
We don't usually
but in this
do it
case,
on air, I think.
But this is something we've never disagreed on. But now we
never talked about it.
Yes, we have.
No.
Well, we've talked about the honorifics at least. Like we talked about sama and chan and like sama adds, like if you put dash sama, that adds nothing to it unless someone like knows what's going on. But if they don't know what's going on, then they have to pause a video and look up what the hell that means. And it completely takes you out of the viewing experience.
No, I mean, I disagree because I think it's worthwhile to understand what those honoretics mean and like those phrases mean. But like I said, I don't think we're going to get anywhere right now because we're just going to...
I don't know you anymore.
We're literally on two other sides of the equation here.
Right. I just want to let you know, I love you, Satish. You're on the wrong side.
No, and I hate you, and you're wrong too.
No,
but it's okay.
No. You have to understand, Satish. The Onisan, I'll give you that one. But if you're going to tell me that as a translator, you shouldn't translate, you're on the wrong side. But Onisan, I'll give you though, because Big Brother, such and such, I'll give you that because it's something that's in other cultures, and that's something I'm not going to ever take away from you.
I'll take that.
But to say no, he has to be called Matsama. Because in Japanese, it's
no, I'm not saying he should be called Matsama because that's not what, the equivalent of I don't know, Chan, I believe CHAN, right, is for little girls, right?
No, actually, Chan is more so of, Chan is what's it called? Chan is a, what's the word? It's like a nickname. Like someone would be calling you Ish
Silver
or
Chan?
Sat. No. Silver is its own nickname.
So Sa-chan.
Like Satish. Yeah. Sa-chan, yeah. Or they would be calling you Satish-chan, but in English you would make it Sa or something, or Satishi, because even though that's localization, the point is that if you leave Satish-chan normally, I thought you were actually advocating to leave Satish-chan and Satish-sama and Satish-kun.
No.
That's why this turned very Civil War very quick.
I was advocating for the idea of, because I don't want to get too far off right now, that in the same way that Oni-san has, a meaning of Big Brother, right? Not saying that you need to write, something literal for Sama, but I'm not asking that you leave that in, because that's wrong.
Okay.
That's flat wrong.
Okay. Right, okay.
The equivalent of, what I'm saying, the equivalent of Matsama in English is not Matsama. That doesn't work that way.
No, of course. It's just very hard because, very, very briefly, with Kohai and Senpai, it's saying junior and senior and younger. So, again, there are ways to work in English without making it super-duper literal. And that's why, Big Brother is very literal. In terms of, that's what I'm saying, more so of being very, very literal. But anyway, the point is that it is nice to see that they have that relationship, both Konohamaru and Naruto.
It's a really lovable and likable thing. And you can tell, it's very much like the sibling relationship, because at first he's pissed off, because he's like, this was a freaking game? What are you? And then he hears the story, and he's like, fuck, I have to help him, don't I? And it's really cute.
Yeah. No, it was very, very nice to see. So that was cute. And, we move on, and of course, he's trying to impress this girl that in no way is a bad person, but her character design definitely feels different than the rest of them. Like, it feels like she was made to be part of the special. This lovely, lovely little girl.
And never, ever mentioned again. And I don't think she's
That's
mentioned in the, she's not mentioned in the normal anime, right?
I haven't seen the anime. I've only read the manga. And as far as I remember, no, blue-haired girl does not exist.
Oh, well,
that's how it looks. Yeah, right. Like I said earlier, though, I really do like that they mentioned the tuning exams. About those were nice, like the idea of foreshadowing, because, a lot of the movies from different anime series do that every once in a while. They will foreshadow whatever arc is going on at the same time in some way or another.
Yeah, it also takes me back so far because it's like, right, tuning exam, and like, you think about the second OVA, the Waterfall mission, right? And it's a C rank mission, and you're like, right, we're in the minor league, son. But no,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, just to like gloss over the Konohamaru one very quickly. It was a sweet story, and it got taken care of in 17 minutes. Like, it was essentially the equivalent of a really good filler episode on a show. And, Naruto's had bad filler and, like, extensive super filler. But this was cool. Like, it was just, it's not... It was more like Steven Universe filler in the sense that, like, yes, by technical classification, it's filler. But, hey, there's a toss to the tuning exams, and there's a little, like, love between the two of the main characters. Well, Naruto and Konohamaru. And it's just nice. It's like, okay, cool, it's nice stuff. That's it. And then you have nice. Kakashi Dick Senpai as like, yeah, we can go eat, but I'm not paying.
Oh, my God, yes. So it was fun. It got the job done. Budget-wise, it seems like, interestingly enough, in reverse order, we have OVA 1 being the smallest, OVA 2 being a bit higher because it felt like a normal TV episode budget, and then the movie, of course, being a real movie budget. So, because I'm telling you, OVA 1, nothing wrong with it, but it felt like its budget was just a bit lower because it was just the first OVA, potentially, I believe it came out before the show even, So, because that'll happen sometimes. You'll have some OVAs come out before their anime counterparts, at least with longer running stuff, just to kind of test the waters. Or to say, hey, this is coming soon, as a way to say, hey, all of you manga fans, here's your way to watch it, so you can watch this. And that, at least, again, first OVAs, not obviously second OVA, third OVA. Once second OVA came out, they were obviously doing the anime already. But in Japan, and of course in America as well, because it came out a bit later. So, first OVA, got it out of the way, it's done, wasn't bad, just I feel like we had to mesh it up with OVA 2 because you kind of sit back and
absolutely, look, we couldn't, skipping over it is mean, but we could do, max 20 minutes talking about a 17-minute, I mean... Oh,
are they talking about 2 8-year-olds? It's like, I care about you. I care about you, too.
Of, the length of it, right? Like, we've been done in a few minutes. Oh, it was nice. Yeah, it was nice. It was just kind of simple. Yeah. An episode. We liked the brother-brother relationship. Yeah. The character was random. Yeah, but she's gone now, so it makes sense. And
boom, we're done.
That's it.
Yeah, right? So, but we jumped to OVA 2. And this, so Naruto grows, just like he did last time in the movie, in the full movie, Naruto grows in this OVA very nicely. Because when he first starts off, you remember, right, this is the Naruto that we're dealing with here, the one that lets kids shit-talk him. And speaking of shit, steps in some... either Naruto is weak or these kids are fucking strong, which can also be a thing as well. So, you sit back and you're like, so this is the Naruto that we're dealing with. But again, throughout this OVA, not only did it pick up the pace overall, which was nice, they understood, like, even though there were some nice fights in the first OVA, the Clover one, definitely better fights here because, again, they were like, we need to put actual villains and real ninja in here.
Yeah, okay,
real
so
ninja
to clarify,
antagonists.
These two came before the movie, or?
I'm pretty sure they came before the movie. I'll check right now, but I'm pretty sure both came before the movie.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the discussion we had being, shit, we should have done the OVAs first because they came before the movie. And I was going to say it sort of makes sense because, like, and not saying that they're going to just get better every time, right? But the fight scenes in the movie were pretty solid. Like, I liked them a lot, you know? And I was telling you, like, I really enjoyed it. Not that, I didn't enjoy the ones in the second OVA, but I ranked them a little bit under the one in the movie. So in my head, I'm like, that makes sense. Because...
well, you know, that's based on time.
Yeah.
And budget. Also, yes, they did come before. Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to give you exact dates because, you did ask. The first OVA came December 20th, 2002, which, looking at the episode list... actually, sorry, the manga was, the anime was airing at the time, but it was in its first season, literally in the first dozen episodes.
Yeah, it was the basic
when the first OVA came out. Then when the second OVA came out, December 20th, 2003, right? So OVAs had a yearly thing going on at that point. The movie was August 21st, 2004, yes. In Japan.
Okay,
we're talking about Japanese dates here, by the way.
Of course, yeah, because we got weird-ass dates here in America.
Well, we got 2007, which actually is not that bad compared to something like, Dragon Ball Z.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
But, the fight scenes in OVA 2 were solid. I liked it. I also kind of liked the way that they worked in the hero water gimmick, because first off, it's like, he skipping ahead in the plot a little bit, but Shibuki gets it, and he's able to fight for a moment, but he's still not a skilled warrior, so he gets his ass beat. And it becomes the same thing for the villain, though, because, again, he's stronger, but as Sasuke points out, he's tiring out. He can't keep up with them because they're trained warriors, like really good ninja. So
I thought it was more so he couldn't keep up because it weakens you, because the water does weaken you. So unless you're super duper duper, but they're not trained. They're still kids.
Right, but their chakra, his chakra became 10 times, right? So his moves had more power, but it took a lot out of him, which I assume is what contributes to the idea of it is killing you.
Yes, it is.
But and it makes sense, though, although they were able to fight it off a little bit and stall it, that Naruto had to get his Four Tails chakra. Not Four Tails. Well, sort of. I think it's a Nine Tails cloak. Is that what they call it in English? Because,
Nine Tails cloak?
I don't know what they called, the English term for it, because it was weird, but the idea of, he tapped into his Nine Tails chakra, and it, engulfs him.
That's what, I just heard Nine Tails chakra. I've never heard, the cloak.
Is Nine Tails cloak correct? Because remember, I don't know what they said.
I don't remember.
Okay, but you know what I'm referring to, obviously, when the red chakra engulfs his body and he becomes stronger.
Which is good, because, again, it's foreshadowing. This idea that, I'm sure a lot of movies will detail this, he will be slowly, I'm sure, in each movie or each OVA, minus the Sports Festival one. In each movie's OVA, he will be, that one.
He
will be delving
into... trying to take a shit and, can't take a shit, and there's a whole bunch of characters there, including his dad.
Yes. He will be trying to, I don't remember his dad being there, but he will be trying to delve deeper into his
I think he was
chocolate.
there as a, character art thing, as, a throw-off to us, but, he didn't do anything.
No, that makes sense, yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah.
What was funny, I think, about this, referring back to the fight scenes comment you made, right? Of course, so the OVAs came before the movie, so canon-wise, they came before the movie. And I discussed, last time with you the idea that right around those episodes, he's using the Rasengan for the first time. In the movie, he technically uses it in front of Kakashi for the first time.
Yeah.
And it cracks me up because, when he was about to finish the enemy in the OVA, the Waterfall Village one, I was like, oh, he's going to Rasengan him. And then I stopped because he does the shadow close, and I'm like, fuck, he's not there yet. He's just doing the Uzumaki Barrage because he's not Rasenganing yet. And I just laughed, though, because it was still really cool. Because it was fun then. You want to do that? He ran straight at him, and this got nailed in the face, and I laughed because I'm like, fuck you. That's what you deserve.
I would pay people so much money I would pay, I can't remember, Studio Perriott, I believe. I would pay them money to animate this again, just to fuck with your head, and I'll watch it with you again, and the animated version that's shown, it'll look the same exact way. Again, I'm paying top dollar for this. It'll have him summon a toad and ride it to kill this guy. And you'll sit there and you'll go, that's not what happened.
Because I'd be like, I know for sure. I'd be like, he can't do that until, like, Shippuden. That's technically two different series. It's one thing if it's like, hey, you know, like he uses the Rasengan, right? Because I'd probably just accept that without comment. Like, oh, that probably makes sense, right? But if he summons a toad, I'd lose. I'd be like, that's a second series. I don't even watch this, and I know he can't do that until way later on. And I'd be so mad. And I'd just find you did this with the millions that you got, right? With those millions definitely. That you got. Like, of course, I'd get you back. Like, I'd go find a way to, like, make a Sentai completely about sports for you. And just a whole bunch of references.
Every episode of... I buy a Die Ranger DVD set, which, by the way, available from Shout Factory. Definitely get those. They're really good. But I buy a Die Ranger DVD set, and I swear to God, you'll just have every single episode on the DVD be the episode where they played soccer.
Oh, yeah. And the bonus episode
every single episode
will be the episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX where they play baseball for 2 minutes.
No, it'll be great because, like, some of them you'll try to trick me with, so I'll be watching a normal episode, and then out of nowhere they'll switch over to the soccer scene in a clear transition that they were making before, like something else.
Every
but it'll be
non-boss fight scene will be the stock footage from the soccer area.
Yes.
Like, whenever they're supposed to be doing something outside of the boss fight, they'll just be playing soccer. And that will be Die Ranger the complete series. An endless soccer game. And I don't even like soccer. / football, because the rest of the world calls it football, and we call it soccer because we're jerks. But, bringing that back to reality.
You sock it, right? You don't play it with your feet, you sock it.
But no, I like, by the way, you mentioned earlier that they basically wrote Kakashi out in these OVAs, and it's funny because, like, I know that he had to do something here, but he had, like, a total of, like, 2.5 minutes of time, because he was there, like, we're going to walk, and then I'm leaving, and then I'm back at the end.
You know what's another? Actually,
almost died,
you know what? Before I said, they're not showcasing him because they want him to make him seem aloof and like a dick, I would argue, like I would add on to that, or maybe even negate that and say they probably didn't want him to showcase his moveset yet.
That's what I think it was. Because him fighting is a really big thing. And it implies that, like,
he can do it.
It implies strength on the part of Team 7 because they were able to handle everything in this, in this whole little saga on their own. I mean, Shibuya and the Hero Water, yes, but, like, they did it together. And that's pretty impressive.
Most definitely. Because, it sucks that you left the kids alone, but, had you shown Kakashi, he would have either held back and you would have said, no, he can obviously do more. Or
I think
he would have done too much and spoiled a lot.
He would have done too much, or it would have been a thing where, like, it implies that they're helpless without him in a way, and that's not the way they wanted to build these characters. Also,
that too, of course.
Yeah, it's also a thing where, like, I feel this is just, again, this is my interpretation. Now, I feel this is the way they built Kakashi's character. For me, it feels like he was always there if they needed him, but, like, they were never in any, like, complete danger.
Yeah, he did seem a bit like Goku in this special. Did you take that also as well? Like, Goku would stand there and watch the fight, and if they needed him, he would jump in and they'd be like, Goku! And they'd think he just arrived, but really he'd been standing there watching their moves for 20 minutes.
That's how I felt. Like, let's say, like, the end part with Sasuke, the villain, and Naruto, right? Had Naruto got the shit knocked out of him at that point, I feel like he would have just stepped in. Because he was there. So I like to believe that, because I really love the Kakashi character, mind you. I'm very biased. I love his character.
He really does come off as I think that's our fan canon.
I'm not crazy,
or head canon. No, I think that's our fan canon because of what we know about him now. But at the time, I think being that kind of dick fit his character a lot more.
This is true. I have to give you that.
Like him actually not being there and being like, whatever. But I think now that we know him, he would seem like a guy that would be in a tree far away. Though, of course, he didn't know how to get into the village, though, but then again, he knows a lot of shit, so maybe he did know. It's funny. We don't know how to get in. Kakashi, I could get you in, but I won't. It's very interesting. Again, we don't know because, of course, it's not our place to know. I mean, we don't know how they were writing him, and we probably will never know. What matters is that Stephen Blum was one of the ninjas.
Really?
Yes. And if anyone doesn't know who Stephen Blum is, he's been Wolverine on a few occasions, voice actor-wise. He's been Tom from Toonami, Tom the Robot. He's also been, of course, he's Spike on Cowboy Bebop. He is Orochimaru. And I feel like I should know some more, so I feel really bad. But the point is that Stephen Blum, pretty much every single fucking video game ever. He's in a lot of newer video games. Not stuff related to anime, just newer video games, I think, like Call of Duty and stuff like that. So, yeah, Stephen Blum, great voice actor. Really happy to hear him. Like, I'm just listening to the ninjas, and I'm like, so what random voice actors are going to be here? Oh, hello. How are you? Also, main villain, head villain, sounded a bit like Crispin Freeman at certain points, but it was very hard to pinpoint. So, and sadly, because these OVAs are so small, not a lot of publicity. Can't really find if it is Crispin Freeman at this time. But it sounded like him at certain points. Crispin Freeman, of course, being Alucard, right, from Hellsing. And also, he was in the movie as well, but he was a random one-off actor. So, and he's been in a lot of other anime as well. But yeah, anyway, so a lot of fun little voice actors here and there. I mean, in the movie, we had Timmy's dad from Fairly Odd Parents. Right?
No, because I remember we had that, and we sat there, and it was like, what a funny-ass, like,
yeah,
6
what a
degrees
world.
of separation thing.
Right? Yeah, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So, yeah, I think that even though the last OVA, right, did show that Naruto can survive mines from a tuning exam, this one was a great way to show how much Naruto can endure and his heart, right? It shows how he can inspire people like Shibuki to be a hero. And that's a main character.
Perfect word. Because, one, I had the same thought. We were on the same wavelength. But it was just the obvious thing, and I loved it. Because you're right. I mean, not only was Naruto's voice in his ear, because when he was sitting in that cave, he was remembering what was said. But you're right. Yeah. Like, Naruto's spirit inspires people. And I really like that because it's why you like him so much as a protagonist, even if you don't want to. Like, you sit there and, like, unless you're, like, a sourpuss, you kind of have to appreciate him because he's driven.
And you need that.
And I loved the, just never, I mean, this showed up in the first OVA too. Just that, like, constant never give up, never give up, I cannot give up, And not only does it put him ahead of the other characters in a way, not in just the protagonist way, but in just a personality where you appreciate that, like, I physically just will not give up. And you want to root for him because he, in the grand scheme of things, just wants to be Hokage, and he is a child who is learning. So he is essentially an underdog in anything he undertakes right now.
Right. Yeah, I think it's very needed. I said earlier, you need this because you do need it when you're doing an anime protagonist. I mean, unless you're subverting some tropes here and you're trying to, make a character who's like, we can never do this, and then stumbles his way into it, we will never win. Like, as a joke. Which can be done. Again, a lot of fun comedy series out there, changing up the tropes and trying to twist them around to be funny, right? It happens a lot. We've seen it a lot. But if you're going to make your traditional anime protagonist, I do feel main character, I really do feel like you need this character to be a character that can inspire people. I mean, you look at someone like Goku, right? And Goku was able to bring everyone from the good side onto the bad side. I mean, maybe not so much for Naruto, although Naruto has done that for Gaara. But, turn them, from the bad side into, to the good side. Or you look at someone like Luffy, who has this charismatic presence that he's able to somehow bring people into his pirate crew that they might not have been evil at first, not all of them, some of them. But at the very least, they were not interested in joining at all. But he's convinced them, and he's really brought them on this journey with him. So I mean, even someone like Ichigo, right, where Ichigo is a little bit more pessimistic, but he still has this heart, right, and this courage, Ichigo from Bleach, that he's able to, bring people together at the very least. So a lot of, main characters have this innate ability. Some refer to it, as naivety. I mean, you look at Goku, you look at Naruto, but even in Naruto's growth, as he grows throughout the series, he's still able to, he still has this, overwhelming optimism. It's just that now, as he grows older, right, as the series progresses, he's able to also throw punches, right, harder punches, more ninjas. So yeah,
do not underestimate that I have punches, but no.
Yeah, basically. By the way, so talking about Shibuki in the beginning, something I want to laugh at. So, look, I understand that when you're trying to protect yourself, you're supposed to kind of cover your head, right? Especially he's in a cave, right? So if there's maybe, falling debris because of some jutsu, I get it. But I just love how Shibuki holds his head in that cave with Naruto and Sasuke. Like, whoa, a bomb's about to go off, man. It's like you're in a cave. You're ninja.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand protecting yourself, like ducking, but the way he did it, and I'm sure that's the point, they wanted him to look very cowardly, but still the way he did it was just funny to me. Like, it's like, what are you protecting yourself from? Minus cave debris. Also, by the way, whipping children, fuck yeah, on a Japanese children's TV show. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. The kunai to her throat did not seem as drastic as the whipping. Not sure why. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because we just don't see whips in Naruto often, and kunai are just so normal.
That might be it. Also, I guess the whip for me has a connotation of things like, abuse and slavery, and the kunai has a connotation for me as ninja tool. So, like,
yes, exactly. I mean, death tool as well, but ninja tool, yeah.
Like, it's not their dynamic of, stuff they do.
Yeah. It's,
so
yeah.
I get
so,
you. Yeah, I do get you.
I'm happy you saw it a little bit, too, just like the whip. And it's just like, this is not correct. Like, something is bad here. Oh, by the way, just the general concept of the water is really terrifying. It's horrifying. The idea, which, like, it gives you power. Great! You will die. Aw. But you do get powerful. Great! But it will kill you. Aw.
Would you do it? Would you do it in a fight if you had to protect someone you cared about?
Oh, of course, without a doubt. The problem is that would I really need it? Because it depends. Like, if I'm, fighting 5-10 people, yeah, most definitely. But if it's one-on-one, there's a chance. I'm not saying that I can easily kill. I'm not saying I'm going to kill this person, but I'm saying that, if it's one-on-one, I do feel like because here's the thing, too. If you drink too much, it'll kill you, and then it makes the fight irrelevant because you died mid-fight anyway. You see what I mean? So it's like you have to drink just in the right amount, or hope that your enemy isn't that strong. In other words, right, me, Matt Marrero, very out of shape, should not be going against Conor McGregor. Even with this, he's just going to break my arm. Doesn't matter how much I drink, he's going to break my arm, he's going to break my leg. Now I'm fucked. Conor McGregor killed me, and whoever I wanted to protect will also die. I don't know why Conor McGregor would do it. Well, all I'm saying is that, when you're trained in fighting, and I'm not trained in fighting, like we mentioned earlier, this water doesn't do much. It can help you a little bit, right? Maybe be a distraction, but it can't really help you do much in terms of actually taking the person down. Yeah. So, and I think that's what's great about this water, where that even though this is filler, right? It's an OVA, so it's meant to be filler, just like the movies for the most part, right? Because it's filler, the way they introduce this water, it's great. Because, it's going to make you more powerful, but it can kill you, which makes sense as to why someone like Orochimaru or Kabuto or whoever else that wants to take over the world this weekend doesn't want to drink anything. Basically. I love it. Just, what are we going to do tonight, Brain? The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Well,
because it's Orochimaru.
That can't happen, because if you're using hero water, you're not going to have many nights.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's great to not use hero water, and why it just makes sense as to why it's like, we're going to make a filler thing. Oh, well, it'll have to make him powerful. But what's the sacrifice? It'll kill him. Perfect. That's why no one else wants to use it. I mean, Orochimaru, in theory, can use it once, burp it out, die, take a new body. But, like, that's just Orochimaru. That's not even his whole night.
Thanks for that image, Matthew.
Just literally just drinks it. Perfect. I'll kill you. Like, after, 20 minutes, burps. I think I'm dying now. Get me a new body. Thanks. You know? Just not even his fucking whole night. But, yeah, no, it just... So it feels like it just makes sense why certain villains would want to use it. So great job on them for creating it in this way. And also, before we start wrapping things up, I don't know about you, but I thought, well, two things. Before I even say that, I want to mention, usually I'm sarcastic, right? Very, very sarcastic. We're like, oh no, the character that we just met died. But honestly, he had a lot of growth in this special, right, Shibuki? So with his growth, it was really nice, to see him potentially sacrifice himself. Or technically he did sacrifice himself, even if he didn't die. He put himself in the line of fire. It really showed his growth, that if he had died, and hell, even though he didn't, it was still a very emotional moment compared to, I think, what usually happens in OVAs or just general TV specials that I've done either with you or some other people. They'll introduce a character, and they won't really flesh them out, and then they're in danger, and I'm supposed to care. And it means nothing. This was a lot different. I cared a lot.
Yeah, I think also it's just a lot happened, I think, when we talked about the movie, right? I remember saying, it felt like they needed more time. It felt like things would have benefited from more time. I have to admit, I don't know exactly how to describe it technically, but I think this OVA did a really good job. It's like, in fighting when you say pound for pound, someone is this. I think minute for minute, this OVA did a spectacular job in crafting a story and creating characters. And that's not saying this is the best OVA in the world. It's saying with a 40-minute OVA, they did a really good job crafting a story you could get emotionally into and enjoy. Because,
compared to the movie, which we didn't like. It's not we disliked the movie.
A lot of space, and they needed more time to extend on what they were doing, the way they were crafting the story. For this one, I liked it because you have something that went over very well for me. I mean, Shibuki was a coward. You hated him, and then he tries to kick them out of the village because, they need to hide the entrance, and he's afraid because he's a coward. And then later on, you see, Naruto fight up for him because Naruto is Naruto. And you're like, oh, Naruto, doing his thing. But he's fucked up, and his village is about to die. And he's just like, you know what? Looking at this hero water, knowing it could possibly kill him, and he's like, no, I got to do it. And immediately you're like, And then, even when he gets the shit knocked out of him, he frees Sasuke, and he's still sort of fighting. And you're like, man, this guy cares. And he's, trying to save the children and escape. And that was my favorite line in the entire thing. When, I don't know, did you see the dub or the...
The dub, yes.
Okay, so Sasuke was escape. I've heard the word, but I've never been, really good at it or something.
Yeah.
And he smiles, and I was like, that was a cool... that was young Sasuke's emo badassness. And I enjoyed it, because I'm like, that was a good line. That was a good line.
Yes.
Escape.
So I have a... a very dubby line, but it wasn't bad. It was definitely his character. It showed that it was... Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm very lax on Naruto because, I do like it, and I'll admit, there's so much corniness in it. In the movie, the fucking line was it's time for payback with interest, and I just cackled because I'm like, this is corny as shit, but I'm into it.
Yeah. So question, when the main villain drank the water, did you believe that it was the real water?
I did.
Really? I thought that Shibuki was going to just poison him, as if he got the water from Flint, Michigan. I thought he was going to get fake water, and it wasn't actually going to be...
Nice real-life tie-in, boss. Flint, Michigan. People are dying. We're making jokes. No, we're not. Please save the people of Flint, Michigan. But...
Well, look, okay, listen, all right? People, just like in the Naruto world and in the Bleach world and in every other world... People that are the highest in power, don't worry, they'll be arrested. Don't worry, they'll get what's coming to them. Either that or we're getting a war. I don't know which.
So basically, what you're trying to say is Michigan needs a Naruto or a Batman Because if a vigilante doesn't take up the call...
No, I think I prefer Naruto. I want someone wearing bright orange trying to be a ninja in broad daylight in 2016.
I gotta be honest. I understand the need to be a superhero and like people like imitating like Batman, Superman, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If someone went around actively trying to be Naruto, that'd be interesting.
Well, I think,
and I don't mean like,
colors.
They cosplay Naruto and like they chill as Naruto and they RP as Naruto. No, I mean like try to go out there on the streets and do ninja missions. Like you're gonna get got, son. I'm sorry, but you gonna get got.
We need to get rid of this. Is this a D-rank mission? Getting rid of these drugs? Who the fuck you think you're talking to?
By the way, I had a conversation with someone today that was great. Speaking of drugs, I need to throw this out there. Apparently, if you were a minority in the 90s with a pager, the cops just assumed you were a drug dealer.
Yes. Did you? Yes. You didn't know about that?
No, I didn't. And it's funny because, like, you know, like
did
I know
you know
a lot of things. I was not up to par on that, and I thought that was a really interesting fact.
That if you were a ninja in Naruto's world in 2003 and you had a pager, everyone wondered what the fuck that was.
Right, because they didn't have pagers. They did have movies, though, as we found out in the first movie.
Actually, no, they did have pagers. If they didn't have pagers, they had walkie-talkies in that one chapter in the beginning and that one episode. They had walkie-talkies. They've had movies. I believe they have telephones, or at least we've seen them try to potentially use telephones. No.
You know why I know they don't have pagers?
Why?
Kakashi got a message by Bird in the OVA.
Oh, look at that. My pager. The bird looks at that.
Like, as much as we're making a joke, right? You apparently it's in the Flintstones. No, because you remember that now, right? He got his message by Bird, and it was a fucking scroll. So they don't have pagers.
They don't have pagers. They get scrolls. That's how they fucking get.
So your statement is 100% correct. If you were a ninja in Naruto's world and you had a pager, they'd be like, what the fuck is a pager?
I don't know why. I just imagine someone running around as Naruto saying to someone that they didn't like, it's like, oh yeah, your mom is so fat, and like Naruto would just be like, your woman is like D rank. I don't even want to do her. Like something like that. I feel like it would be some kind of really horrible. Like I feel like that's what would be, because in our heads, being from Brooklyn, New York, we think of like Naruto in the streets of Brooklyn. Just running around going, believe it!
Wow.
That's what you see that, don't you?
What's the ETA on him getting punched out?
I think the second he gets walked out of his house, he's just going to get jumped. Like, on the stoop. On the stoop. There were just a bunch of people waiting.
And it's just Naruto's afraid to leave the stoop. Stoop Naruto's afraid to leave the stoop.
You know why I hated myself so much? It wouldn't be people that would be beating him up, right? Because everyone's thinking, oh, these are some hoodlums. They're going to be in tank tops and jeans, and they're going to hate anime. No, it's everyone dressed up in Akatsuki robes.
That's what I was going to say. It's other Naruto cosplayers who are like, we've got to keep this real. We've got to keep K-Fab intact, so we have to beat him up.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of keeping K-Fab intact, did you know that Hulk Hogan, the character's penis, is 10 inches long, but Terry Bollea's is not? The more you know. Thanks, Hulk Hogan.
Because knowledge
on
is stupid.
Trial.
Because knowledge makes you vomit.
Hulk Hogan said that on trial yesterday. I want you to know that. But
did he put his hand on a Bible?
He testified to a juror, Matt, that when he made comments that his penis was 10 inches long, he was being Hulk Hogan, the character, and that Terry Bollea, the human being, does not have such an endowment.
Are we just speaking about things that are orange now?
This is in a court of law, yes.
We have to talk about that after we're done, but because we're about to wrap things up. One thing I want to mention before everything's done. It sucks that we didn't get to see much from Sakura. Because, look, I understand that she doesn't have much of a varied moveset, but I just feel like both OVAs tried their best to toss her aside, which really sucks because, while she does have, what?
No, I was going to say, you know why, sort of? Martial arts-wise, she's proven to be skilled, like kicks and, like, her KO punch-wise.
Yeah.
But they like to do the fights with a little bit of some flashy chakra. And both Naruto and Sasuke have a chakra ability at this point.
Yes. Yes.
So you have, because Sasuke's fireball jutsu is, like, spammed across OVA 1, OVA 2, and in the movie, right? And Naruto gets his Shadow Clone Jutsu, his Uzumaki Barrage, and his Rasengan. So Sakura, like, her abilities to this point are limited to martial arts, and I feel like they tried to give her what they can. Like, in OVA 1, when they're fighting, she got in a lot of punches and kicks.
A little bit, yes, a decent amount. Compared to Sasuke,
I think she was a little limited in in
I think
OVA
it's frustrating. Here's why it's frustrating, because, you could have given her anything. Like, you could have had maybe, you could have had one of the ninjas possibly even make some water clones, just like people made out of water to try and kill the villagers or something. You can always, because remember, even though, it's funny, I want to, like, reference Dragon Ball Z, even though it's kind of sad because Dragon Ball Z doesn't really have many strong female protagonists. But the point is this. The point is that for characters that are quote-unquote weaker than the main cast, the show, so this is canon though, would send out people like Cybermen or like Cell Juniors, right?
Yeah.
Little things that can be taken down as fodder. And the movies would do sometimes similar, things where you would have fodder villains, right? Or you just would have everyone focus on the big bad, obviously. But I mean, I think Cooler's Revenge was a good one, where you had Cooler's Armored Squadron, right? Things like that. Or, of course, again in the show, you had Ginyu Force. Well, they were big bads, they weren't Frieza. So the idea of you have to get rid of these guys to get to the next, then they're kind of smaller than someone like Guldo, if you remember, smaller. I think of the Cybermen as a good idea because, like, there's something for the lesser characters to do, and it's not like Sakura's lesser character. No, but the way I look at it is this, right? She had a very important job of protecting the villagers. Very, very, very important. Sadly, not seen on camera. That's how I look at it. Like, very important, not seen on camera, gets her ass kicked and then kidnapped. Mind you, Sasuke and Naruto did, they also got their asses kicked. So it's not like it's just Sakura getting beaten up here. But it felt like instead of her protecting the villagers, it went from protect them to, you all better kind of protect each other. But I'm the head ninja here. I'm a ninja. Well, they're not. Yeah, you guys got to protect each other, okay? Like all the villagers. I'm Sakura, not a villager. Hard to tell. Okay, see ya. Like, it was pretty rough, I think, to her. But I mean, of course, we'll see her develop more as the series goes on. This is very early in the series, obviously. But okay, so we're at the end of the show. Would you like to say anything before I do the social media shtick?
No, because I think we actually covered our.
Okay. Before I do that, I want to apologize to you, Satish. Got very heated earlier, and definitely we were both confused, or at least I was confused on where we both stood, on what we stood.
All the time.
No, I just felt like when I was like, you're on the wrong side, and then I learned, wait, no, he's not on the wrong side.
No, we're on the same side for that. I just look at like. No, I look at it a little bit differently.
Oh, no, of course, but we're on the same side. We look at something a little bit differently, but we're not on, no, you must keep this in its natural language.
Yeah, no, because that's wrong. Like, that's just flat out incorrect.
Yes. Okay, yes, thank you. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we knew that because, it wasn't me confirming.
Yeah.
Anyway, so again, would like to thank you all for listening in. Apologize to Dish. Thank you all for listening in. And let's mention some of our social media stuff. I mean, as always, we have our merchandise on cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise, which has some of our stuff from our podcasts and funny quotes that we've, said, and our Let's Plays. Those Guys Play, located on YouTube. You go on YouTube, search up Those Guys Play, and you'll find our Let's Play. Season 2 is currently underway, and more is on the way. Also, Matt beats games from his childhood, where I, being Matt, beat games from my childhood, currently beating Mega Man X. Again, merchandise for that on cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. And on, the actual content itself, the YouTube content for Those Guys Play is on YouTube by searching up Those Guys Play. Also our podcasts, also on YouTube by searching up Those Guys on the Radio. We have TG News, right, which is a weekly nerd news show that we release usually on Thursday or Friday the latest. And that will be coming out, again, Thursday or Friday the latest. How will you know that, right? It's on our TG Productions YouTube account. You can search up TG Productions, find it. But how will you know, Satish? Well, you will go on our social media pages. Oh, what were you going to say?
No, you said, how would you know? And I'm like, tell me. I'm responding to you. I thought that's what you wanted.
I heard probably. I was like, wait, what? Anyway, so...
No, sorry. I said tell me, because I'm so interested in where this goes.
Of course you are. So you go on our social media page, you go on our website, which is thoseguysonthereradio.tumblr.com, our Facebook, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Instagram, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, and our Twitter, which is @ThoseGuysRadio. Also, you can email us, thoseguysonthereradio@gmail.com if you want to suggest show ideas to us, or if you want to tell us how good and or bad we are, or if you want us to promote your product or your service either on the... We can either promote you on the podcast, we can promote you during a Let's Play, or we can promote you during TG News. Again, just email us, thoseguysonthereradio@gmail.com. Also, we have ourselves, let's see what we have ourselves, Tish. We have ourselves, I think we're caught up.
No, go on.
No. But no, we are, right, it's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, I think we're all good here. I think we're all good. So we would like to, again, thank you all for listening in, and... I think it's time to say good night. So, good night, everybody.